You're listening to the Pop Punk Revolution Podcast. Here is your host, Sean Zizi.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of the Pop Punk Revolution. And you may notice that Brian isn't here once again. He is busy doing all the things. He's saving the world from terrible mixes with his company, TonalityStudio.net. If you want to sound like a pro, that's where you go. Check out Brian. So anyhow, guys, we got a wonderful person here. I'm going to let him introduce himself. Say hello.
Man, I feel good already. Thank you, Sean. I am Danny from Number One Sons, and it is a pleasure to be here.
Danny from Number One Sons. So thank you for being here on such short notice. Like, I hit you up really quick and you're like, yeah, let's do this. You have he's got a migraine, guys. So we got to say thank you, Danny.
I was dying like 2 hours ago, so thank goodness for prescription medication, right?
The wonders of modern medicine. So thank you, Danny, for powering through that.
I'll only be pooping a lot later or something, but right now I'm fine.
Oh.
Side effects.
Well,
fixes one problem, causes another.
Sounds like the modern medicine. Hopefully you got your diapers on and you're going to be pooping and we won't even know. So
right, yeah, you won't even know.
Let's get rolling. So what's the name Number One Sons all about? You have a family with other sons and you are really, really wanting to be number one.
I mean, I think everybody wants to be the good son. Have you ever seen that movie Walk Hard where he's like, wrong kid died or whatever? Oh man, that I guess you haven't seen it. It's really funny. Anyway, I feel like no matter how many times I explain what the meaning behind Number One Sons is, it doesn't get any more exciting. But but I'll do it again. We actually, when we were younger, me and the drummer from the band originally, he's still one of my best friends. We were camping on a camping trip with my family, and my family has a friend who had a nephew out there who was wearing a baseball cap that said Number One Son on it, and he kind of acted like one of Ned Flanders' kids. So we were rebellious and we were punk rock, and we thought it was just really funny that this kid was wearing a hat that said Number One Son on it. So as kind of an oxymoron, whenever we started playing music, we called our band Number One Sons because we're rebellious punk rockers and we're not really, well-behaved children.
So you're nothing like Rod and Todd.
No.
So you're more like Bart.
Yes, exactly. More like Bart.
People like Bart more anyway. So, okay, well, thank you for letting me know. I had no clue what Number One Sons meant. Now I know. Is this a solo artist? Is this your act, Danny, or is it a band?
Oh, thank goodness it's not just me anymore. I mean, it started out. So, like I said, I was in Number One Sons in high school, and we played local shows in the small town I grew up in mid-Missouri. And then over the course of the years, I got married and had a kid and then got divorced. And I was like, you know what? I think now that I can, live my life the way that I want to, I'm going to start that band back up. And I'm going to keep the same name, even though it kind of sucks because music's what I love to do. And I kind of thought it was cool just to bring that name back, and kind of went through playing a lot of different styles of music before landing back on pop punk because, I mean, I thought it was dead. It's obviously not dead, and I can't get it out of me. So Number One Sons is back, and I recorded a lot of original stuff on my own before some other people heard it, and I ended up forming the full band, and now we've got a bunch of shows coming up and more singles coming out, and it's just going really well. Long story short.
All right. So is your kid a Number One Son, or are they more like Bart?
He actually loves The Simpsons, and he loves Nirvana and grunge rock and roll and My Chemical Romance, a little bit of emo, not quite as pop punk as I am, but he's actually a brilliant and awesome kid. And while he is a really good kid, he is still, yes, a little bit punk rock, a little bit rebellious. So
But he doesn't like pop punk. Put him back. Put him back. Put him back. No, I'm kidding. I'm
not
kidding.
as much. No, I think he still does, just not as much.
So it was a phase. It was a phase. But no, I'm kidding. Where are you guys from? You said Missouri?
St. Louis, Missouri, believe it or not.
Oh. All right. So is that where Mardi Gras is held?
It is the second biggest Mardi Gras in the country. Yes.
Where's the biggest?
New Orleans?
New Orleans. All right. All right. Well,
Yeah.
okay, my bad.
In fact, they kind of had a rough go of things, so St. Louis may even rival New Orleans at this point for Mardi Gras.
Okay. So if I throw some beads at you, you're gonna, show me your diaper. Okay. All right. All right. Enough of that. Enough of that.
So it is a big to-do in St. Louis, but I've never actually gone. But yeah, the downtown, there's a place called Soulard Market where there's all these bars and like a farmer's market area. And you wouldn't be surprised to see, I think they probably have a couple 100,000 people or more show up there on a day in Mardi Gras.
Okay. So to be fair, Danny doesn't wear a diaper. I'm just messing around, guys. So don't go thinking Danny from Number One Sons is a poopy pants. But,
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I was
No.
talking about earlier the prescription medication side effects, so you
All
never
right.
know.
So we can't judge if you poop your pants. It's totally okay. Some people have medical conditions, so let's be sensitive. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
of
let's be
course.
sensitive, of course. All right. So tell us a bit about your album, Not Afraid to Fall. Is that it? Not Afraid to Fall? Is that it?
Not afraid to fail.
To fail, I can't read. So some people poop their pants and some people just can't read. So Not Afraid to Fail. Tell us about it.
We love them all. We love
them
everyone.
all. We love everybody.
So I went through a really tough divorce back in 2018, and it was better on the other side of it. And Not Afraid to Fail was my getting back into punk rock. And I actually sat in the house I was renting at the time and just wrote song after song. It was just all flooding out of me because I hadn't released all of that built up catalog of songs in a really long time. I learned a lot from it, and there's a lot of good material on that album. That being said, the quality of the stuff that I'm putting out now far exceeds the recording quality of Not Afraid to Fail. But I still look back on some of the songs, and some of the songs are still in the set list that we play. Holding Out for the Better Times is a good example of one that is a really likable song. And then what's the other one? Man,
Eat You
I can't think
Alive.
of my
Eat You
Eat You Alive.
Yeah.
Also a really good song off of there. But it's very kind of old school Green Day / Alkaline Trio, some Foo Fighters vibes in there, and even a Nirvana cover.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. At the time, I want to tell you just how much different the recording process was back then is that I recorded basically everything that you hear on that album with one microphone in my living room, and I was pulling drum samples off of YouTube and building drum tracks. That's how sad it was. But sounds pretty good considering.
Yeah. I mean, I would never have known. That's pretty punk rock, really. I mean, that's
Thanks.
as punk rock as it gets right there. I mean, besides hitting a trash can and be like, that's my snare. That's my snare. But that's pretty good. So yeah, I was going to say your recording quality is much, much better. And the songs that really stood out to me on there was Eat You Alive and Holding Out for Better Times. So those are great tracks.
Well, we all know you got a great ear, Sean. In fact, I am planning to do another full-length album with a lot of the tracks that I've been releasing one at a time.
Okay.
And those two songs, there'll be probably 2 or 3 songs that I could probably take from that first album and redo them in the high def.
I think those are the 2 tracks you should consider, dude. I think those are 2 tracks you should definitely consider.
For sure.
Oh, cool. Well, I look forward to that. So, tell us a little bit about Quarantine. What was that all about? That obviously came out in 2020, so I mean,
Pretty obvious that it had something to do with the pandemic. Um, I was going through a phase where, like I said, I was experimenting with um, pop punk, and you can even call that song not, it even has like an 80s vibe to it. So it's like a step away from a lot of the stuff that you hear from me now. Like I've definitely developed a sound, I feel like. But Quarantine was written pretty early on in the pandemic, and I work retail, and I just remember like rules changing every day, and it was chaos. And I had actually been with my current fiance for somewhere around 6 months when this all started, and man, we get along so great. And the song is about being with somebody you love during like a troubled time. So basically, it was like, let's just stay here with each other and enjoy that. Kind of forget about all of the chaos that's happening in the world.
so what I'm hearing is that your marriage didn't work. Your first marriage didn't work because you were pent up with you had all these songs in you, and as soon as you got them out, you were able to find somebody who get along with better.
Maybe that was the remedy all along.
That's what I'm hearing. Pop punk saves lives.
Punk rock saves lives, that's for sure.
Oh man, I'm sorry, I had to make that joke. But I hear there's a little electronica in there, like a little like electronic groove in the background. So that's where you get that 80s vibe, huh?
Yeah, like almost like a Castlevania type synthesizer.
Nice.
I love the dark vibe. Big inspiration for me is Alkaline Trio. Like you could take Alkaline Trio, Green Day, maybe a little bit of Blink 182, and some other modern inspirations and some 41, and kind of put them all together. And I think, people would say that you get me. That's how I was born. All those sounds had sex with each other.
Whoa! Whoa! PG, brother! No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All those things did it, and I was going to say they were created in a government lab, but it sounds like you like to do it the old-fashioned way, a good old-fashioned pop punk and punk rock orgy. Okay, and that's how we got Danny. Well, thank you, punk rock gods, for bestowing us with Danny. But let's continue. Let's talk about your most popular singles. So, what is I'd Be So Much Cooler If I Was a Dick all about? I mean, we got some pictures of two very, very wealthy guys for your artwork. I mean, that's kind of a spicy take for some people, because some people really worship one of them.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, obviously. And I try to be like all encompassing in the songs that I write. The song is very personal for me in the way that I've always been a person that thought, why can't we all treat each other the way that we want to be treated? And why can't we all, look out for the little guy and stick up for each other? And, sometimes as you're going through life, it feels like people take you for granted. Life's tough, and you see people out there. I think there's an analogy that a lot of like beautiful women and stuff end up with these guys that are jerks. Obviously, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk seem like they're jerks, or dicks, for lack of a better word. So sometimes it's just funny to imagine this scenario where you're just like, hey, can you tear down that bridge so I can get my yacht through there? Like, you'd just be so much cooler if you were a dick, right?
Okay. All right. Hey, I don't know the guys personally. Maybe they are dicks. Maybe they're not. But I understand the meaning of the song.
Right. Yeah. And maybe they are, maybe they're not. It certainly seems like that's how they portray themselves, but we don't really know them personally. But the song it's very tongue in cheek. And if you know all the words and you can sing along, it's something that kind of, a lot of times life is a joke. And if you're not laughing, you're not having a good time.
It's true, and I dig that chorus. I dig that chorus a whole lot. So it's all a joke, and I like fun pop punk songs that are just joking around and having a good time, not meant to be taken too seriously. So I dig that, unless you were meant to be taken seriously.
I can't decide, honestly.
Oh, I'm gonna leave it at that then.
Neither can other people. A lot of times, like at work and stuff, people are like, I don't know if you're joking or if you're serious.
Sometimes it's both, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes it is both.
All right, good times. So, what's I don't want to be a meme about? Well, obviously, I don't want to be a meme, right? So, tell us a little bit about it then. What's it about?
So we all can remember a lot of popular memes. There's Grumpy Cat. There's who was the guy where he was like, hide your kids, hide your wife.
Oh, yeah. Hide your kids, hide your wife, because they're R-wording everybody out here.
Yeah, exactly. And then there was, the lady who had her apartment burning down and she went.
Oh, ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, all of these people are caricatures because of the situations that they were in.
Oh, yeah.
I actually went and read an article. I had the initial idea that people are more than just a meme. Memes are often full of misinformation. So I thought, there's more to those people. In punk rock, obviously, there's a lot of people, now getting in trouble for like sexual assault and things like that. And it's like, steer clear of that, So I don't want to be a meme is like, I don't want to be put in that box. I am my own person. And, I am more than that, basically.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of those people who end up being memes, they have like that 15 minutes of fame, and then what happens after, right? That you go back to normal life, or you have a hard time getting hired because everybody knows you as the psychotic girlfriend, the possessive girlfriend, the one that's all, that meme, right? You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, very, very fun, very fun. And I see you have a cat.
Is she sneaking around back there?
I see her sneaking around. Well, not anymore. Adorable. I'm a cat person.
So am I. I love cats. They're very misunderstood. A
Of
dog
course.
will always want your attention no matter what. So sometimes it seems like it's not very special. So like a cat is like, let me smell you first. Let me learn something about you before I trust you. But this cat of mine, in fact, anytime I sit anywhere, any room that I'm in, the cat will migrate into that
Oh.
room. And she doesn't always want to lay with you or sit on your lap, but she's always there with you and doesn't get up in the morning until you get up, type thing. So it's really cool. She really loves us.
Oh, I have a cat that follows me. I have two cats that follow me around the house. We have four. And yeah.
I love your Catterday pictures.
Oh, I forgot to do one for this week. Oh, I'm bad. But thank you for reminding me. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you. Wow, you noticed those. Yeah, people like it. So yeah, thanks for noticing. Thank you. Yeah, we have four lovely little kitty cats, and two of them follow me around. One loves attention, and a couple of them just are scared of everything. So kitties are great.
They all got their own personalities.
And that's what I like about them. So let's get back to you. Tell us what is bored about? Is it about being bored? Could it be?
So it was actually like another pandemic song. It was really my return to straight up pop punk from quarantine. It was the song that was released after that. And I had actually gotten COVID in November, late November. It was around, I got it on Thanksgiving and showed symptoms days later. So I was sick it was the first strand. So it was brutal. And I didn't have a vaccine available yet, so I hadn't gotten it yet, and I was just sick for like almost 2 weeks, and just was like, you know what, I'm gonna start writing something, start putting something together.
While sick?
Yeah, while sick.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember trying to sing it and my lungs were like tight and it was hard to breathe. But yeah, that's when I wrote Bored, and Bored was basically because I was quarantined and I was stuck at home, and I thought it would be a really cool thing to get 10 paid days off work, right? But turns out sitting in your house for that long, especially when you have ADD, is not the best thing.
Yeah, sounds awful.
The song encompasses a lot.
Okay. So you survived COVID, right?
I survived COVID.
Nice. You're alive. You're alive. You did it.
Yeah. But if you listen to the lyrics, it's encompassing, like, at the time I was listening to a lot of different music and I think trying to find my sound before I really returned back to this pop punk sound that I have going on now. And I was bored with a lot of stuff. I'm like, oh, that's a song. This sounds like a song. I mean, you've probably been through a period like that where you're reading lyrics and you're like, what's special about this? What's special about that? I was just bored with a lot of it. And then I was thinking about, like, there's a lot of lingo worked into that song, like Big Yikes, and I think there's a couple other ones where I'm trying to basically keep up with the way people talk, the way kids talk these days.
Big yikes, bro.
Yep. I think a lot of people can relate to it because we've all been bored before. And in a nutshell, that's the main meaning of the song.
So tell us about your latest release, No Place to Go. What's that all about?
No Place to Go. I use a lot of symbolism in my lyrics. That was when the conflict in Ukraine first started, that I started writing this song. And I just thought it was crazy how one person can have so much influence over what happens in a country. And thank goodness that is not applicable everywhere. But war is an ugly thing, and the song really gives an anti-war message, and is also kind of tongue-in-cheek. Let me try to find the nicest way to say this. A lot of people, like, just basically practicing what you preach is one of the things that is hit on in the song. I'll just say that much, I guess, awkwardly.
Okay, so now you need to elaborate a little bit. Tell us real quick, what do you mean by practice what you preach? Like, some people aren't known for being like really great people or being nice.
Well, yeah, and nice is different for everybody, right? We can try to be nice to everybody. Some people are going to appreciate it. Some people are not going to appreciate it. But I guess, what was I saying? Practice what you preach.
Yeah.
In terms of the, like, there's like the Old Testament and then there's the New Testament. So I think to practice what you preach is something that maybe, like, Old Testament probably has more of a problem with, versus I'll just outwardly say it, like, Jesus was a guy who preached helping anybody despite what their what they've done in their lives, what their status is. Everybody's got a place in society, so, like, basically don't turn your nose to people.
Okay. I mean, if you read the New Testament, guess who Jesus was hanging out with? He was hanging out with all the people that everybody snubs their nose at. So maybe people
Right.
should practice what they preach, huh? I would
Right.
I would agree with that.
And like, I tried not to delve into it too much, but it was hard. It was too awkward not to just say it. But like, I don't want to offend anybody. Like, religion's really not my thing, but that being said, I don't knock anybody
Right.
for following it. I just, my message in that song was basically to, be educated, be open to things that are against what you instinctually believe, and be kind to people.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, religion isn't for everyone, and that's cool. Some people like it, some people don't, but
Yeah.
you really should practice what you preach. So I would agree with that. So it's a cool track. So yeah,
Thank you, man.
yeah.
Very, very American Idiot. Green Day's my favorite band, and sometimes they leak a lot of their sound into what comes out of my guitars and stuff.
Yeah, it's their fault. Totally their fault.
Yeah, I did say it like it was their fault, didn't I? Well, I mean, it kind of is, right?
Well, I guess we need to go spam their Instagram and be like, "Yo, your fault this guy exists, all right? It's your fault."
I try to spam their Instagram. They don't know that it. They don't know
They
that
don't
I'm
know.
there.
Well,
We're gonna find a way to make them know.
I think everybody probably tries to spam their Instagram.
Of course. Of course. I'm totally kidding, by the way. So what's up with you next? What are you coming out with next?
So I have a cover of Bob Dylan's "Times Are a Changin'," that I have made kind of punk rock, and I realized after the fact that Flogging Molly had done this before. That being said, my version is very different than Flogging Molly, and I think the song encompasses what I try to do, which is try to not make my lyrics hit a single place in time, a single subject, so that they're more relatable. And Bob Dylan's "Times a Changin'" is very applicable to pretty much any time in history.
Okay. I look forward to that for sure.
That's why I chose to do it, and it's recorded, it's being mixed, so hopefully, first or second week of probably second week of September, we may see that on Spotify
all right.
and everything else you stream.
What was that? Everywhere there's stream,
Stream it all
Everywhere
the
there's
places.
streams. Don't cross the
All right.
streams.
you could cross the streams. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But no, that's tight. That's tight. Okay. So I heard you were coming out with an EP. Didn't you say something about that?
Yeah, so I don't have an exact date for that. It'll probably be a month or two after the Dylan track. So stay tuned. I'm going to try to decide on a title for it and take a lot of the newer songs that I've recorded and compile them onto like a 6 or 7 song EP, which will later become a full length album.
Ooh. Okay. That's gonna be tight. All right. So you have any shows you need to talk about? Cause you told me something about a show. Tell me about it.
Yeah, especially if you're in St. Louis, and even if you're not, we'd love to see you come out and hang out with us. We try to put on a show that's, that the audience is definitely a part of. There's a lot of singing along. There's a lot of participation, so you got to pay attention. Uh, there is a test. We have a show coming up on September 9th in town, and then at the end of the month, we're playing with a punk band you may have heard of, Agent Orange, and we're really excited about that. It's at a place called Red Flag here in St. Louis.
Wow. That should be something wow, you should be very proud of that. That is really cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Kind of how I explained to you, a lot of these songs were written in my house and in my basement when I was sad and lonely and depressed and battled a lot of anxiety and through a lot of therapy and a lot of hard work. Like, I would not have imagined a year ago that I'd be opening for Agent Orange. We're talking to Sugar Sean on his podcast.
You're funny.
In all serious though, man, like, it truly is a pleasure that we've been able to talk. And
yeah, man.
hopefully it's been, just as good for you. And there's just a lot of cool people that I've met by getting out of that dark place and working really hard. So like, it's cool to be, kind of up on another place on the hill looking down.
Well, I'm really happy to have met you. Like, we met a little while ago. We've always been cool with each other, always supported each other, and I got to say thank you for being supportive. So that's been really cool, and I really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, anytime, man. And I hope our relationship will grow even more.
I think it will. I enjoy chatting with you. I had to have a good time. You do have a what?
Said no pressure.
No, there is no pressure. I don't care. I don't care. But your sound really does have a Green Day Alkaline Trio type sound, and I really enjoy it. So guys, check out Number One Sons on Instagram, on Facebook, on what is it? The Tickety Talk. So definitely check him out. Give him some love, and feel free to say goodbye, Danny, because it looks like we're gonna be saying goodbye regardless.
Yes, anybody who took the time to listen to even 1 second of this, or has listened to my songs, or sent me a message, or posted, or shared me on a playlist, I want to thank you all. Like, even on the smallest scale, I'm grateful to be doing this and have met and talked to some of the people that I already have. So I consider that a great time and a lot of success.
All right, thanks for being on, Danny. Thank you all for joining us on the Pop Punk Revolution podcast. Whatever you may identify as, a pop punker, punk rocker, elder emo kid, whatever it is, just keep on rocking and join the revolution. Thank you guys so much.